So we're going to talk about the number one thing that gets in the way of your intuition and how to increase your intuition. So the number one thing that impedes your intuition is your mind, that monkey mind of thought, that thing that says, you can't do that. That's not right. Should I go left? Should I go right? So many of us, especially during coronavirus, we're sitting in our stuff and we're hearing that same voices, the record player over and over again. And right now it's a perfect opportunity to cultivate your inner self, your inner guidance center. The first step to do this is literally just to still yourself. Like literally right now, if you're sitting in a chair listening to this, just literally sit down and feel your feet on the earth, the ground, and feel your sit bones in touch with the chair you're on. So step number one is connection with the earth. Anytime we have fast-moving mind thoughts like anxiety, worry, questioning ourselves, defeating thoughts, that brings all of our energy up. And it also heats up our energy. And so we might feel our chest, our heart beating faster. We might feel more confused and less clear, etc. Okay, so just take a moment right now, just kind of wiggle all 10 toes and pretend like you have a pencil tracing the outline of your foot. Sometimes when I'm doing readings with clients, I'm giving them grounding, but I also say, help me out just by wiggling your toes and tracing your foot and feeling the connection with the ground beneath you. There's a mantra I often use that says, the earth beneath me supports me. Okay, so that means we're getting that busyness out of here and bringing it down. And then we want to quiet the mind and sit. I have some videos that talk about how to do that. So I'm going to fast forward on that step, just stillness. And then I like to put my hand onto my heart. Like anytime I want to hear truth, or I actually do this every morning when I ask myself, what do I need to know for the day? What's the wisdom I need to know here? And I wait until I feel my heartbeat into my hand. And when I do, I create an all-loving, all-nurturing environment here at my heart, almost as if I had a baby's head rested here right on my heart. And I ask myself a question. The question might be like, should I wear the red dress, for instance? Now, automatically, what's going to happen for most of us, especially us heady thinkers, analyzer, logical-minded people, it's going to go right up to the mind. So the mind's going to say like, yes, wear that red dress because you need to be front and center for this video, for instance. But the heart has a different vibration and a different energy. It's softer. Sometimes it has excitement. And the important thing is to practice getting to know the difference between the two, the head and the heart. I just released a book called Unlocking the Body's Wisdom, Accessing Your Healing Powers from Within. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I have a book and a workbook. But in this, there's a chapter where I talk about the difference between the analyzer I call the frontal cortex, which are our thinking, processing, logical mind. We all have it. Some, we just have it so much that we can't turn it off. And what happens is that misguides us because it's your intuition center that's really your inner compass. I like to think of it as living in your heart or in your body. So as an exercise, you could ask yourself a question like, do I want to go for a walk right now? And then ask your head, just bring all your energy to your frontal cortex, your head, and ask the question to your head and see what your mind says. And you literally will feel energy in your frontal cortex, in the front of your forehead. And then you could let that go. Do the hand on the heart exercise again. And ask yourself to your heart the same question. And just hear if there's a different answer or a different vibration. And I'll be quiet just for a few moments. See what information you could get from this place inside of you. And then in my book, I talk about a third part. And the third part is your higher self. And this could be synonymous with your heart or just like knowing the information. Um, I also talk about the third eye. The third eye is located between your two eyebrows, slightly above and in the center of your head. This is your intuition center. So the intuition center, there's a way you can practice activating your intuition center. But when you go into meditation, if you're fluent with meditation, you shut your eyes and you go to this place inside. Some people have a meditation where they focus on the breath. I have a meditation where I actually look at things. I create a screen and I see what comes up. When I look at things, I look out in front of me about an arm's length away on my imaginary screen. And with practice, I just see things when I shut my eyes and ask a question. So this is intuition center. The fact is that we all have intuition center, and all of us, it's active. It's like our guidance center. We just have a feeling, like we have a feeling that something's wrong when our partner doesn't call, or we have a feeling that it's going to be a good day. There's just a sense we have, and this is in a few areas of your body. It's in your limbic center, your feeling and emotional center, but it's also in your intuition center, in your third eye. It takes a bit of practice to get to know the difference, but it's important when you're asking a question to really differentiate the difference in the three parts. So to recap, there's 4 parts of yourself where we access information. The first part is our head, and just think about what 3 times 7 is, and that right there, the information goes to your head. The second part we talked about was your heart, and this is where we get the information for guidance about maybe what we need to know for the day. What's our heart often knows what's best for us. And then the third part is the intuition center, which is located here. It could be similar to the information you get from your heart, yet when I ask a specific question from each part, I get slightly different information. Like my guidance center maybe will guide me on what's the right answer with a little less heart. And then the fourth part, which we haven't yet talked about, but it's called your higher self or your all-knowing self or your Buddha light or, the light within you, God, whatever we like to, some of us are religious and we like to term it a certain way. But this part is either in or outside of all of us. And we have access to this part as well. So let's just practice this exercise of getting in touch with these 4 parts. Okay, so shut your eyes with me. And first, let's start in your head. Think of a question you want to know, like a question that's not too difficult or too many components to it. Maybe a yes or no question is the easiest way to start. And then ask your head that question. See what answer you get. Ask your heart that question and see what answer you get. Put your hand on your heart. Wait until you feel your heartbeat into your hand. Create an all-loving, all-accepting space as if you had your baby's head rested at your chest. And then when you feel your heartbeat into your hand, ask yourself the question. Say heart, and then follow with the question. Don't make it too long, because often if the question's too long, that could be heady. As soon as you start asking the question, you already know the question, so you really only need to mention a few words of it. And then the third part, the third eye, go ahead and tap here just to give yourself the appropriate receptive input as to where the third eye is, and it's slightly back. Okay. So come to the center of your head, soften your eyes, soften your face, and ask yourself, to your third eye, that same question. And just wait and see what comes up. And then let that go. And then the last part, the fourth part, is your all-knowing, your supreme being, your divine light. And this, some could say it's all of the parts we just talked about. Some could see it as a different aspect of yourself, around you, above your crown, cosmic energy. So shut your eyes, come inside, and ask your higher self the same question. and see what answer comes up. Allow the answer to rise up and meet you instead of you grasping for it. And it's the first thing that comes up. Even before the words come out, there's a feeling or a message you'll already get. And when you're talking to these 4 parts, you want your head balanced over your pelvis. When we're reaching for the information, oftentimes what happens is we lean forward, especially when we're in our analyzer. That's most common to do that. Like, I need to get the information, I need to do my taxes, whatever that is, that our energy is being pulled forward and will be most optimal and most in alignment with ourselves when we remain that center pole. So I encourage you to practice this exercise. When you get better at differentiating the voices of these 4 different parts and learning how to access them for wisdom, they will come in very handy down the road, especially when you have bigger decisions to make in life or you're confused. I'm very curious how this exercise went for you, and if you have any questions or thoughts about this, and I look forward to seeing you next time.